Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Jamie Sweet, and I am the programming manager of the Pennovation Center, and I also coordinate the Summer Accelerator each year. We're so glad you guys could join us for the culminating event of the 4th annual Pennovation Accelerator. The Eco Impact Accelerator cohort companies share a common mission to create products or technologies that have a positive impact on the environment. By solving problems related to sustainability, climate change, urbanization, agriculture, waste reduction, and recycling, among other global challenges, these companies also aim to have a social impact and better our communities and the world. Today, Pitch Day, concludes the 2021 Pennovation Accelerator. Each company will deliver their 5-minute pitch, followed by 5 minutes of Q&A and feedback from our panel of judges. And following the pitches, we will announce the best pitch winner and the overall Pennovation Accelerator winner, which is based on their engagement throughout the program, overall growth, and their pitch today. Our panel of judges this year include Adler Archer, who is a scientist, engineer, and a social entrepreneur with 21 years of diverse experience at Fortune 100, the DoD, and top 10 universities. Adler serves as the senior advisor for strategic initiatives at Johns Hopkins, where he is also our friend Carter McClure's newest colleague, Whiting School of Engineering and Biomedical Informatics researcher at Johns Hopkins Medical School of Medicine. Adler leads and manages multiple strategic initiatives defined by the Dean and Executive Council as part of the engineering school's strategic management process. Catherine Griffin, as founder and CEO of Impactable X, Catherine works with social entrepreneurs and impact funds to define, model, value, and forecast social and environmental impact. Prior to launching Impactable X, Catherine served as the managing director at an award-winning impact accelerator, Good Company Ventures, where she built multiple global cross-sector innovation consortiums designed to catalyze and accelerate the application of new technologies to address the world's most pressing challenges. She serves as a professor at Temple University and a lecturer at Wharton, and has been featured in Forbes, Fast Company, and the New York Times, among others. And finally, Rick Genzer, for I believe the 3rd year in a row, has joined us as a judge. He is the director of investments for IT group Ben Franklin Technology Partners. Working with the investment group, Rick identifies vets and ultimately invests in seed-level high-tech companies. Currently a veteran of 5 leading-edge startups, Rick's experience and role provide him with a unique perspective in relating to and assisting Ben-funded companies. His philosophy is rising tide raises all boats. This is our cohort for the year, and our pitch order is as follows. So we'll have ATP PA, followed by Shinkei Systems, Rigo, the Sun and Star Collective, Transmira, and A. Briner. Afterwards, we'll take a quick break for the judges' deliberation, where you will hear from Accelerator alumni Julia Anthony. She is from Solution Medical, and that company won Best Pitch last year. Now I will hand it off to our first presenter, Joe James, who is the founder of ATP.
Climate change, pollution, health, environmental justice, and jobs. Hi, I'm Joe James. I'm the founder of ATP PA LLC. I'm a former 33-year economic development professional, including 8 years of service for the city of Philadelphia. I won the Purpose Prize in 2008 for my work to uplift poor communities of color. I served a 6-year term as a secretarial appointee on the Federal Biomass Technical Advisory Committee, and I invented and patented our innovative and cost-effective CRBVP process. We're focused on several serious challenges: climate change, where there's a need to capture CO2 from the atmosphere and reuse and sequester the captured carbon. Other environmental challenges facing air, soil, and water, and health challenges related to things like airborne particulate matter attacking at-risk communities and increasing the deadliness of COVID-19. Our solution is our patented combined remediation biomass and bioproduct production process, a terrible name, so we just call it CRBBP. Using that process, we plant and multitask very special biocrops to capture lots of CO2 and simultaneously remediate contaminated air, soil, and water. We then harvest those crops and convert the resulting biomass and its captured carbon into cost-advantaged circular economy bioproducts. Here's a picture of standard sorghum on the left and biomass sorghum on the right, both at their 6-month maturities. But biomass sorghum captures 14 tons of CO2 per acre, which is almost 4 times as much as an equal acreage of trees and twice as much as the next best biocrop. So in Philadelphia, we'll capture CO2 from the city's vacant lots, even as we screen out airborne particulate matter pollution. We'll do the same as we remediate contaminated brownfield sites and coal ash deposits. Using vertical biocrop farms, or VBFs, we can directly capture CO2 from power plants and other large emitters all year round, turning our capture rate into 30 tons a year. We make bioproducts, including a superior-based filler powder alternative to carbon black, which is used to make plastics and composites, and tires are 30% carbon black. We can make a superior poultry house bedding and a nutrient-rich biochar soil amendment for which there's market demand. We've demonstrated the ability of our process to extract excess nitrogen and phosphorus from watershed farm soils to protect aquatic life. We've demonstrated the efficacy of our cost-advantaged bioproducts, and our go-to-market strategy is to collaborate with utilities. So our Maryland operating affiliate was selected by the Exelon Foundation's Climate Change Investment Initiative in July 2020, and our Virginia operating affiliate was just invited into Dominion Energy's Innovation Center Accelerator. Climate change, pollution, health, and environmental justice. That's what we're focused on. We also want to get help from the various community organizations, from the city, and from universities in Philadelphia. We hope that we will be able to join Philadelphia Gas Works Innovation Accelerator sometime in the near future. I'll stop now and I'll be glad to respond to any questions you may have.
Great, thank you, Joe. And I will pass it off to our panel of judges.
Great presentation, Joe. This is Rick Genzer from Ben Franklin. My question is, you talked about this being in Philadelphia, but I didn't see any Philadelphia initiatives. Just as a hypothetical, if you were to plant this in many or most of the vacant lots in Philadelphia, how much of an impact would it have on the particulate or other issues with the city?
Well, first of all, we do have an application pending with Philadelphia Gas Works for their innovation program in collaboration with Temple University. We also have been collaborating with a community-based organization in Hunting Park area, which I'm very familiar with from my prior tenure in Philadelphia, an old industrial part of the city that has lots of not only vacant lots, but contaminated sites as well. The organization that we're working with has actually planted a very small test, not a test plot, but a demonstration plot of our crops so that folks can get a feel for what they look like. So there's a number of challenges around the city in which, particularly in neighborhoods, in which we can make a difference. Our crops, because they get so large and have such a big leaf spread, are good at screening out airborne particulate matter like PM 2.5, which I mentioned earlier, which is attacking, unfortunately, at-risk neighborhoods in Philadelphia.
Thank you.
Hi, Joe. I really enjoyed the presentation. So I think my question was around the same line. So I'm based in Baltimore, DC area, and I wonder with this remediation process, is it possible to set it up as like a rooftop garden where it would be pulling particulates out of the air, but maybe not so impactful for soil?
Well, thank you for that question. That is certainly possible. And another application that we're looking at is in urban communities. Because of climate change, there's something called the heat island impact. In other words, asphalt and bricks make a much hotter environment. We can create shade in those critical months that can be taken away. And another benefit for the communities that we want to work in is that we can employ community residents to help convert the material that we're generating into the various bioproducts that I've just described. So there are many applications that we can perform in cities that would be beneficial. We can also, in a city like Philadelphia that has outdoor entertainment facilities and parks and other places, we can plant our crops as a way of screening out both the airborne PM 2.5, but also creating separation between people as a way to allow them to enjoy venues without spreading COVID-19 much more intensely than they might otherwise do.
Thank you.
Hi, Joe. Thank you so much for your presentation. This is really impressive. A couple questions. I was wondering if you could speak to your business model, your revenue model, what kind of budget this would come from in Philadelphia and other municipalities. It sounds like, if I am right, there is a cost to both planting the crops, but then also after a certain period of time, harvesting the crops and creating additional circular economy products. I was wondering if you could clarify that a little bit more and your revenue model.
Yes, first of all, our go-to-market strategy is to collaborate with utilities. And I mentioned the Exelon Corporation. Not only does it have an operating affiliate in Baltimore, but PECO is its operating affiliate in Philadelphia. So we're looking forward to reaching out to PECO. We've already reached out to Philadelphia Gas Works, which is a separate entity, and we are helping utilities deal with their desire to reduce their carbon footprint and to overcome other environmental challenges that their operations may have generated. So that's a key part of our business model. We would like to have about $50,000 in funding that would allow us to be able to plant some demonstration plantings in the spring of 2022. We would plant those in strategic locations around the city to demonstrate the various aspects of our process. And then we would harvest those crops, and it does cost around $50 a ton or so to process the material into the various bioproducts that we've talked about. We have an outstanding relationship with the University of Akron School of Polymer Science, and they've helped us figure out how to use our filler powders. And we've also done some testing with poultry farmers using our material as a bedding. And then we've captured that litter, the resulting litter, and shared that with companies that are in the home and lawn and garden care business, one of which makes a certain type of product that they normally would have ground up wood, dyed it black, and then blended it with their potting soil. And once we provided them with something that was naturally black that had nutrition in it that would help grow plants, they were very excited about it and wanted to buy that. So we're going to go back to that company and use that as one of our customers for one of our products.
How do you make money?
We make money by providing environmental services, primarily to utilities, as I've described, and other large emitters, and by selling bioproducts. And the beauty of our CRBBP process is that we're multitasking the crops and their resulting material. And that multitasking process allows us to share the cost of growing the crops in the first place over multiple tasks, making each task less expensive than it would otherwise have been had we simply planted the crops for a single purpose. So that's one of the cost advantages that our patented CRBBP process offers us.
Thanks, Joe, and thank you, judges. We're going to move on to our next company.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, so next up, we actually have a little bit of a schedule change. We're going to have Josh from Rigo.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. Here we go. All right. Can everybody see the screen okay? Awesome. Thank you, guys. My name is Josh Mastromato. I'm the founder and CEO of Rigo. And Rigo is a door-to-door marketplace for secondhand furniture that simplifies online consignment and donation to prevent usable furniture from ending up in a landfill. And the concept of Rigo was started after running street cleanings on my own. So I can confidently say that Rigo envisions cleaner communities across the world. We absolutely need to start here in the US, where over 9 million tons of furniture is landfilled each year. And in our urban environments, even more just gets dumped on the streets. But to put that landfill number into perspective, over a 10-year time period, that's enough couches to fill up I-95 from Philadelphia to Florida. And there are a number of challenges behind that statistic. Is secondhand furniture logistics are really hard. And there's a number of physical challenges, time constraints, and obvious issues on existing marketplaces that go hand in hand with payments and costs to responsibly disposing of furniture are all pain points that people experience. There is a solution. Rigo solves these problems in one seamless platform where users can buy and sell furniture with each other while we handle the technology, communication, payments, and pickup and delivery. And on the donation side, we match donors with charitable organizations and also help with the logistics and donation receipt. And when needed, we can help people responsibly dispose of furniture. Now, I know that seems like a lot of moving pieces. So to boil it down, there are 4 primary beneficiaries that we focus on: secondhand furniture buyers, secondhand furniture sellers, charitable resellers, and residential furniture donors. And since day one, we've been iterating and perfecting our logistics process to seamlessly connect these 4 pieces. For example, since the end of 2020, we've been running a small MVP that's diverted over 30,000 pounds of furniture away from landfills and 2 charitable organizations, which has increased their revenues and in tandem generated over 40,000 for the business. And we did it all using this Dodge Caravan and U-Haul rentals. And I'm not kidding, that is my 2017 Dodge Caravan. We were lucky enough to partner with some of the top organizations along the way. What's really exciting is when you look at the secondhand furniture market, still in the early stages of a boom. And it's predominantly being driven by the same younger, environmentally conscious consumers that helped spike the rise in used online fashion platforms. They're now just a little bit older with more buying power to take on larger purchases. That plays a key role into our go-to-market strategy. So step 1 for us is to capture credibility, which is what we're doing right now. And then we plan to heavily target college students in urban environments and people who just need to get furniture out. And from there, we have a 10-year customer retention goal. On the financial side, online consignment will do the heavy lifting. There are 2 options. The first is a white glove service that involves pickup and storage of the item, where we charge 40 to 60% commission plus a $99 delivery fee. So for example, if a couch sells for $500 and we charge 60%, we earn $300 in commission plus the $99 delivery fee. The second option is what we currently call in-home. This is where the seller keeps the item in their home until it sells and then utilizes our delivery service. In this option, we take anywhere from 25 to 35% plus the $99 delivery fee. So for example, if a couch sells for $250 and we charge 27%, we earn $67.50 in commission plus the $99 delivery fee. And for example, it generally costs about $41 per hour to have just our delivery team operational. So we need to make sure that our routes are extremely optimized and our process is as efficient as possible. And then additional revenue streams will come from affiliate business opportunities. So similar to things that we're doing right now, plus some downstream opportunities that we have coming out later, and then lead generation for other businesses. And then obviously with great opportunity comes really great competition, both new and established. So we picked both locally and nationally applicable competition. But the main differentiators for us to simplify these bubbles is customer segment, distribution channel, price point, and convenience. And a quick introduction to the founding team that will take this home. You have myself, I run all the sales and operations, and my co-founder, Brandon, who's really the Michael Jordan of Rigo, as I like to call him. He's probably the top young software engineer in the area. So he handles all the front and back end tech right now. And then we have 2 key advisors who have been with us since day 1. And so now our team plans on using the competition funds on R&D to improve our customer acquisition strategy and legal fees to help us set up our seed round where we plan to raise 500,000. So we're looking for introductions to potential angel investors, especially those with an impact focus, then advisors, and separately marketing and financial professionals to cover some of the blind spots on the team. Thanks.
Thank you, Josh. Judges, you can take it away.
I didn't want to go first, second time in a row, so I'm
curious about if this is kind of like, I've seen organizations that have like, they come and remove junk in a way. Is it a similar model where you would scale it that way to different cities, or how do you decide where to go next?
That's a good question. So we're not doing the junk removal ourselves. So we actually use that as a lead generation to partner with junk removal companies. So one way that we're looking to scale is not just, urban areas that have, heavy college presence like Pittsburgh and Baltimore, but also where there are the national junk removal presences that we can scale with. So that's a way for us to stay lean by not having to take on massive trucks and then also dump fees and things like that. So I hope that directly answers it.
Yeah, and then I just think about liability if you're not involved in the moving of the furniture, if damage happens along the way or it's not what people expected. How do you address that?
That's a good question. So we are directly involved in the pickup and delivery of stuff that's getting sold on the platform to keep that in-house. So other than sellers needing to go through an extensive process to make people aware of any damages, especially since we want to sell at the mid-market price point, when we show up on the spot, there is a verification process if somebody's doing the in-home sale, for example, to make sure that there are no discrepancies. And if there are, we make the buyer aware of it. And then on the white glove side, a lot of that gets ironed out before we take it to our storage center. That way we're not, taking something in-house that isn't going to sell. And then on the return side, there is an on-the-spot right of refusal. So that's essentially, hey, we went through this entire verification process, we show up, and you're still telling us that it doesn't look the way you wanted it to. So we had a test run in this since that portion wasn't live yet, but we do deliveries, for example, from Habitat for Humanity and Affiliate Thrift. So we just did test runs of taking photographs of the furniture, sending it to customers, making sure everything was correct, even though they bought it in person, and then showed up on the spot. So we've been able to do dry runs with that, but we'll need to make sure that that process is really ironed out once it's live.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Rick.
No, go ahead.
Thank you, Josh. Given the presence of so many other players in the space, can you refine your impact articulation a little bit more? I mean, if this furniture would likely be sold on Craigslist or through Affiliates, Thrift, and others, how do you think about your impact in this space?
So the furniture is likely sold on Affiliate Thrift or Craigslist. So I think more about the urban environments where the majority of the calls that we get, because a lot of the work that we're doing right now is picking up the donations for Affiliate Thrift and other places since they don't have an integrated pickup service. So we get a lot of calls of somebody going, hey, I was trying to, sell this on Craigslist, but I didn't have the time to manage it. So I'm either going to throw it on the sidewalk or get it to a donation center or somewhere else where I can sell it. So I think a lot about the mid-market furniture, because on the high end, that's where you might go to a more established broker, like somebody on the main line where they can handle that. And then sorry, there's a buzzer going off in the back behind me. And then on the lower end, stuff that has, rips, tears, unfortunately, that is where it ends up in the hands of nonprofits because they can get that to the right homes. So we want to hit that middle market where it does require a little bit more targeted marketing that nobody's currently addressing. And then we can still generate revenue on the stuff that is going to our nonprofit partners, because we do have plans to white label with some of them where if they don't exactly have the inventory space, we can hold it for them, store it, do the same photograph process that we're planning on doing now, and then having them sell it on their own website. And then we still manage the logistics, if that makes sense.
You're good, Catherine?
Rick.
Josh, great presentation. Thank you. I want to put into context your impact. It's kind of a follow on to Catherine. You gave a great visual of stacking it on 95 from Philly to Florida. That's fantastic. Can you put that in context for overall how much trash makes it to landfill, to get a sense of, is that, 0.1%, 5%, 50%? While that does seem like a huge amount, I still don't understand how that is. And then the corollary to that is, how much of that is really usable? Meaning, is 80% of it really able to find a secondary home, or is 80% of it really needing to be trashed? Thank you.
That's a good question, because that was something we struggled to prove early on, like how much of this can you say is usable? So we couldn't necessarily generate a hard cut statistic because the statistic didn't exist. And so with the resources that we had, what we did is we went around Philadelphia and photographed furniture that was usable that somebody left on a curb that was, had a free sign on it. And then we documented over a 7-day process, just the complete damage of that, from weather or whatever the case is, until somebody picked it up, either the trash department, which backed up their cycle, or, it just continued to get left there. So one thing for us is like, there's definitely a problem with non-usable furniture that's also ending up in landfills, that's ending up in landfills that we want to address much further down the road. Like, we want to bring on, and again, this is much further, but different recycling initiatives to help, take some of the wood and be able to responsibly, remove furniture that can't be used. Upcycling, yes. A lot of the wood right now can't be recycled because it's treated. So that's something that we're thinking about in the long run. But in the short term, the clear-cut statistic around how much is usable that's ending up there isn't available. We're still trying to work on getting that number, but for right now, it's just been us talking with people face to face and them saying, hey, if you guys didn't come pick this up, I was just calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK, or, leaving it on the curb.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
All right, up next, we have the Sun and Star Collective. Emily will be pitching, and her co-founder, Caroline, will be sharing their presentation.
Hi, my name is Emily Madera, and my partner, Caroline O'Keefe, and I are here today to introduce to you the Duo Case by us, the Sun and Star Collective. As women on the go, my co-founder and I often found ourselves stuffing 2 pairs of eyeglasses in one case. After scratching up multiple pairs of expensive glasses this way, we realized that this is an issue not only we face, but millions of other eyeglass wearers face every day. In the United States, 164 million adults wear eyeglasses that cost on average $350. Yet, even with this expensive price tag, the #1 reason glasses break is due to them not being stored properly. And that's why we created the Duo Case. The Duo Case is a double eyeglass case that safely holds 2 pairs of eyeglasses of any size, from small reading glasses to larger framed fashion sunglasses. The case has 2 separate compartments in a functional design that will easily fit in your bag when you're on the go. With magnetic flaps on either side, the case allows the user to easily access their glasses, while the hard shell of the case is designed to protect their expensive investment. The Duo Case will be produced with sustainable materials to last a lifetime, and of course, with every purchase, a donation will be made to an environmental organization for the betterment of our planet. Our initial target market is adults between the ages of 25 to 55 in the Northeast of the United States, who are impulse buyers or actively buying new eyewear. These consumers also tend to purchase products with sustainability and ethics in mind. We will be initially marketing the Duo Case as a gender-neutral product, but as we receive data through purchases, we will update our marketing tactics towards the group of individuals we see purchasing our case. For our go-to-market strategy, we will launch to consumers through Kickstarter, but prior to the launch, we plan to do viral video marketing through social media channels, such as Instagram and TikTok, to gain anticipation for the product, along with lining up PR through local publications. After the Kickstarter campaign launches, we also plan to sell the Duo Case through other consumer channels, such as our website, local optical retailers, and sustainable marketplaces like Simple Switch and Leaf. Once we establish ourselves in the consumer marketplace, we want to focus our growth through eyeglass accessory distributors, large optical retailer chains, and outdoor and beach stores. Our management team consists of myself and Caroline as the co-founders of the Sun and Star Collective. And to support us on this journey of building our business, we have built a strong advisory team that has helped advise us through their mentorship with building our business plan and connecting us with topic experts. We are currently working with a company called Zenol, a US-based manufacturing company that aims to reduce plastic waste by creating products with recycled plastics, to finalize a product design and produce prototypes. This will allow our company to apply for a provisional patent by the beginning of the new year. After this, we will begin contacting sustainable manufacturers here in the United States. And this leads us to our ask. Today, we are hoping to be connected with sustainable and ethical manufacturing facilities in the United States. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Emily and Caroline. Do we have any questions?
Okay. Do you have a sense of how many glasses are thrown out each year? You said there's a lot of glasses, 164 million, but how many of those would get damaged to the point where they're unusable per year? Just generally, I'm sure you don't have an exact number.
There is a lack of a lot of glasses data, and that's something we hope in the future.
There's no clarity in it. It's not clear.
Yeah, it's not clear. That is a statistic that the number one reason why glasses break is due to them not being stored correctly. But there's a lack of glasses information out there about damaging and even also about cases, like how often do cases break. So that's something we hope later down the line that we can do that research ourselves or conduct that so we have that information.
Thank you.
Hi, Emily. Great presentation. Looks like I'm not able to turn my video back on. I'm not sure why, but I was wondering if you have any indications of demand. Have you spoken with any customers? Have you tested this out? Do you have any sort of pipeline of sales once production is in place? Just trying to get a sense of traction so far.
So I would say that we are planning to use our prototypes from the company we're working with, Zenol. We're hoping to have a small batch by the end of that production process so that we can actually use those and stress test them with customers and use them as such as assets to really get that clear knowledge that people need this product. We know people that need this product, and we have honestly received hundreds of people saying that they would love to buy this product, but we have not yet tested it in the market yet, and we plan to do that once we have those physical assets.
Thank you.
My question is just about profit margin, and you might have mentioned it already, but trying to get a sense of the production cost and then how much you would mark up the end product.
Yeah, so I can speak on that a bit. Our projected max cost of the case would be around $45. Currently, we don't have exact numbers when it comes to manufacturing, as we are working with a startup who is manufacturing our prototypes, and they're kind of testing out their new products with the manufacturing of our case prototypes. So we don't have exact numbers, but we're going to be getting updates on what those numbers will look like throughout the next few months as they're creating like the injection molds and using those filaments and things like that. But we don't have exact prices currently.
And then did you mention how much cases usually cost?
Cases on average cost around 20 to 30-ish dollars. Ours, we understand, is more of an expense than those because of the sustainable materials we plan on using. The coconut leather and recycled plastic just in general cost a bit more.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So up next we have Paula from Transmira. I'm going to give the judges a couple of minutes just to continue to fill out their score sheets. Okay, Paula, you're up.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Paola Soto, founder and CEO of Transmira. And today I'm presenting OBEX, a contact surface cover that will help to protect your loved ones from harmful germs. Tell me, have you ever felt sick or have you ever had food poisoning after a flight? Did you know that some research have found that one of the most contaminated surfaces on an airplane is the tray table, a place where we work, eat, and sleep? And some of these germs actually are very dangerous and can cause different infections, disease, such as bacteremia, food poisoning, skin infection, sinus infections. Currently, people are using hand sanitizers and wipes, but these are only a temporary solution and they have to be reapplied frequently. Having experienced all these realities with my young daughter and myself, I created OBEX. OBEX is like a placemat with a remostenable backing that can easily be applied and removed. OBEX has an antimicrobial agent and provides a consistent hygienic surface. Also, OBEX can be used on a variety of different surfaces, from tray table to seat belt to armrest and other surfaces. OBEX is disposable. Its pre-cut and perforation make it easy to fit most common size of tray table. Also, the face stock of the foam is very durable, water resistant, and tear resistant, which is great when it comes to kids. When it comes to competition, OBEX beats all its competitors in all different criteria. We are the only product made in the USA. No other item in the market is adaptable to different sizes of tray tables. And we are currently offering two different colors, blue and beige, but we'll be offering in the future other different variety of patterns and also different colors. To grow organically, for early customers, we are targeting parents, immunocompromised, and travelers. The COVID-19 pandemic has reshaped our life in so many different ways. We are not just showing how important hygiene is, but also we are now actively living our life in such a way that prevents the spread of infectious disease. To target our audience, we are actually going to reach them using mainly social media marketing to improve brand awareness, to engage with our customers, to increase traffic, and it's also cost effective. We are hoping within the next 12 months to reach out the transportation industry. So the buses for long distances, the airlines industry, the railways, as well as the food and the entertainment industry, the movie theaters, the food court restaurants, the bowling centers, arcade, and many others. To do that, in our team, we have myself, a mother and a traveler who faced this problem for so long and needed to find a solution. We have Rochelle Brenner, the marketing director, who has a lot of experience in marketing and branding. And then Kelly Champagne, the CTO, who has a lot of experience and she's all over the place. And she lately helped us a lot with the grants applications. Our mission, Transmira, seeks to promote a healthy and safe environment for everyone by providing a simplified solution that delivers premium value and peace of mind to our customers. Our vision, a healthier world. Transmira is seeking for strategic channel alliances, distributors, retailers, but we're also building our team, and we are looking for a sales director of operation who can help with the manufacturing, the logistics, and support. Dear judges, thank you very much for the time and for the opportunity. Thank you and stay safe.
Great, I really enjoyed that presentation. I'm curious about, you mentioned affordability, and in the landscape analysis, there were a few other companies on the slide, and it seemed like some were also affordable. So I'm trying to get a sense of price-wise, what your price point is and how that compares.
Yes, of course. So in terms of price, we have three, if I can have the last slide. Yeah. So we have Trade Guard and Sky Coaster with Go Anywhere, who are actually the same, kind of the same price. We are offering for $19 for up to 4 covers. They're all adjustable, and Trade Guard are offering for $17, and there are more $15 and $16 for Go Anywhere and Sky Coaster. So we are actually $2 a little bit more expensive than the other ones, but our covers are adaptable to different surfaces, which the others are not.
So is there like an adhesive backing, or is it?
That is, yes, absolutely. It's adhesive and it's stick on the surface, and you can easily remove it and just throw it away because it's a disposable.
Got it. And then another question just around branding. Are you able to put like corporate logos on it? So for example, if you partnered with Delta, could you put their logo on the
Yes, it's very easy to brand, and that was the idea, talking to airline companies that can actually put their logo or advertise. For example, if they do work with American Express and American One Express wants to have an advertise of anything that they're offering or promotion, they can easily do it on the trade table.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, Paula. Thank you for your presentation. I'd like to get a better sense of the problem you're solving, and the impact that it has. So I understand that you have developed sort of a surface as opposed to like a wipe or a spray, but can you speak to your product's ability to prevent infections that perhaps other types of disinfectants might miss? Or how do you think about the problem you're solving and therefore the impact you can have?
It's more a permanent solution instead of the wipes that we have to reuse constantly and reapply frequently when we are cleaning a surface. For example, if you're on an airplane, you have 8 hours of flight, you're eating something, you wipe before the surface before, then you put it back your tray table. You do other things and you come back, you're gonna use it again. Most people will have to wipe again. The solution that I was looking, because being a mother and traveling so much, was that I needed something to stick for the entire flight, so I don't have to reapply it and go back with all my wipes and traveling with my wipes and gel sanitizer that I have with traveling with a young child. So the same if I go to Universal Studios or anything like that, I have to wipe different surfaces and big tables. In this case, I would just use my surface in the area that I'm gonna use for a specific time, 1 hour after lunch, or even for a longer period of time.
My question is around the environmental impact of the product itself. Mm-hmm. You're talking about it is a plastic cover, or does it have any biodegradable capability or properties?
No, so the packaging, that yes, but the product itself, it's a film with an adhesive. So when I said safe environment, it's more like a healthy environment without germs
But the product is plastic, is that correct?
right. Well, it's a film at his, yes,
Thank you.
sure.
I could ask another question if we have more time, Jamie.
Still
I'm
have another
curious.
couple minutes.
I'm curious, you said you're going to use social media and your target market is immunocompromised people. How do you plan on identifying immunocompromised people via social media? Like, what's the marketing plan there to do that?
Well, in terms of sharing stories, so the content that we're going to be using on social media will be different storytelling on how we present those, those experiences, being targeting different audience, but also targeting different contents for different audience on social media marketing, on social media using Instagram and Facebook.
So you're going to post
By the
stories
content,
that you expect to be attractive to
reliable, right? Reliable to the audience. Yes. Yeah.
Are you planning on using influencers, or is this going to be your own generated
influencers as well? Absolutely, using influencers as well. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paula.
Thank you, Jamie. Bye.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
So next up, we have A. Briner. Melissa, you can start to share your screen. I will give the judges a couple of moments just to finish their thoughts and
Okay, perfect.
write their notes. Okay, start whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hi, my name is Melissa Briner, and I'm the founder of A. Briner Custom Shoes, a men's shoe line with a patent pending sealant. Our designs range from custom artwork to your favorite sports team logos. A. Briner is changing the way men think about their shoes by providing a way to express their passions and their styles through their footwear. Menswear is often lacking options. The flash of a sock in recent years, along with classic ties, are tried and true methods men are using, but they are becoming oversaturated in the market and contributing to the perils of fast fashion. The fashion industry is looking for something new, something that changes the way men look at their footwear. Using our patent pendant sealant to keep our artwork adhered to the shoe, our shoes are hand painted by artisans and each tell its unique story. We are currently in the process of signing over 50 college licenses into place, including some Power 5 schools like Penn State and Clemson. Licensing agents such as CLC are always given the same products to review, but men's formal shoes are an area of the college market that has not been addressed, and they are beyond excited to see where we take it. Our shoes are designs that advertise your alma mater, your interests, and serve not only as a fashion statement, but a networking opportunity. We provide shoes that are high quality Italian leather, memory foam insoles for comfort, welt stitching soles for easy resoling, ethically made and sustainably packaged. A. Briner's target market stems from two areas. Target market A is the college market. Many top-end sports teams are required to wear suits on away game trips. Suits and dress shoes, unlike most aspects of sponsored teams, are not under the contract by the big names in the business, such as Nike and Under Armour, leaving an opportunity for a unifying aspect like a shoe to bring them together and dress. Target market B is men who need to dress up for work or frequently need to sport a dress shoe in their look. Whether that be in a business meeting or dinner at the club, they are looking for something to add a statement to their otherwise uniform sense of style. Our surveys at local clubs like Union League brought back results of how our product would be perfect for both the office and the club, a networking tool, and the perfect gift item. The A. Briner shoe is a way to network, spark a new conversation, and spice up an outfit without breaking the dress code. The men's formal shoe market is set to grow 6.2% from 2016 to 2022, with global sales at 10 million. Research shows that men are more willing to spend money on a formal shoe. With our brand also licensing for sports team logos, another part of the marketplace is open up to the multi-billion-dollar sports apparel business. A large concern of ours in the beginning stages was that competitors in dress shoe markets could apply our business model to our product without our help. This is why we went ahead and went through the process of licensing a utility patent on the sealant process we use to keep the design on the shoe. Our profit margins fall within the industry standard of the wholesale price of the shoe falling at $85, the total cost after customization, overhead, etc. at $140, and the retail price at $450. On par with Allen Edmonds' non-logoed product retailing for around $400. This puts our IMU at 70%. Once we are able to scale and take on more inventory, we are able to reduce the wholesale costs of the shoe by 50%. With Target Market B, we can get clear numbers. There are currently 130 college football teams with 85 players a team, and that's around 11,000 pairs of shoes, and that is only in factoring in football. Starting with the 3 teams I have contacts for, that is 250 pairs of shoes or $80K in gross profit. This strategy also gives us free marketing, with most football teams coming in at 60,000 followers on Instagram and professional pictures being taken by the team's social media. This allows us to reach our target market and keep customer acquisition costs low. To launch at one football team, we are going to need 85 pairs of shoes, coming in with shoes and supplies and labor. That is going to fall at around $12,000. This would then give us the opportunity to get the word out there, make some profits, and advance the business by taking on more shoes or more schools. I graduated with the honor of magna cum laude from Drexel University, majoring in fashion design. While a student at Drexel, I studied shoe design at London College of Fashion, was involved in various leadership roles on campus, and worked on the beginning stages of developing a briner. After graduating, I went into residency with Macy's Philadelphia Fashion Incubator to better develop the business aspect of the brand and connect me with peers in my industry. A. Briner is also mentored by University of Penn entrepreneurship professor Robert Knorr and partnered with his college licensed apparel company, Timeless Tartans. Thank you so much for taking the time to learn more about my business. I look forward to hearing all of your questions and feedback.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Great presentation. I have a question around the slow fashion market space size. Do you have a sense of the growth there, or the size of the market, and trends for how much it's meant to grow?
Yeah, right now, it is one of the fastest growing aspects of the fashion industry, which is really encouraging. And with that, I'm hoping that as it begins to take off, we can really take on more initiatives. And as we grow as a company, can take on things like the resoling process and really making sure that we're reaching the full cycle of the fashion process, because that's where most fashion companies fail. They create these sustainable, using recycled plastic polyesters, but then that polyester is still ending up in the landfill. Whereas if we resole the shoes continuously and really create that timeless, lasting piece, that's the goal and the end of this.
And
Thinking
then just
about all aspects.
Got it. And then around production, I'm curious, with your patented sealant process, how long does it take to make the shoe?
Yeah, so right now manufacturing is one of the things that we're struggling with. I mean, I think COVID has really created that challenge. So right now, that's a question I'm trying to address with our manufacturers and just coming up with sampling.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is kind of the nature of my question. And you have a lot more experience in this area than I do. So pardon me.
No worries.
I struggle a little bit with you establishing a price point that is possible, even while ticking off all of those qualities of your shoe. Extremely well made, made of best materials, leather, well stitched, etc. I would imagine that your gross margins would be much more compressed if you shoot to such a high end. So I'm curious, do you really believe you can do that?
Yeah, so like I said before, after looking at our competitors, which there aren't any hand painted dress shoes on the market, which is crazy to me. But there are hand painted sneakers. So when
Yes.
looking at the comps in sneakers and when looking at the comps in like the quality of dress shoe that we're at, our target market is spending that price point. Most sneakers that are hand painted are coming in at around $250 on the low end, $600 on the high end. And the quality of dress shoe that we're looking at is retailing for around $400. So for our target market that's already spending that $400, like the members of the union league that we talked about, they all wear Allen Edmonds. If they get that quality and add the logo and the networking opportunity, they're willing to spend that extra $50.
And therefore, and you still believe you can produce the thing at around $100 a pair then, which
Yeah.
gives you 70%.
Yeah. All of the numbers are coming out at around the same price.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Melissa. Great presentation. Wondering if you can clarify the elements of the shoe that are driving impact and environmental sustainability. And you mentioned some of them in passing, but was wondering if you can sort of share holistically what your company plans to do.
Definitely. So the big part, like I said before, was that creating that closed loop. And with shoes, the part of the shoe that, gets the most wear is the sole. So we, in the future, would like to offer that resoling process, which is why all of the shoes are going to be made with the welt bottom soling process, which allows that resoling to happen. Like sneakers and most lower quality shoes are made with glue instead of the stitching. So the stitching allows us to resole them and then rebuff the shoe and you're taking your old pair of shoes and they look brand new. So closing that loop and making sure you're not buying, Steve Madden shoes and just throwing them out at the end of the year.
But are you planning on using any particular type of leather or virgin leather? You mentioned sort of polyester and foaming, and there are artisans that are going to be painting these. Where are they based? Just sort of
yeah. So the artisans are going to be, the painting process is going to be done in the United States, so that we control the efficacy of everything. And we were trying to do that with the shoe manufacturers, but sadly, there are not shoe manufacturers in the United States unless you're talking cowboy boots. So we are going to a European-based manufacturing, but again, all ethically made and certified are the factories that we only want to work with. And then when it comes to the resoling process with all of that, we are using real leather because with the resoling process, it is the only leather that's really keeping up with that ability to be worn over and over again. I've worked with, some pineapple and cactus leather, and it's just right now not up to the standards that I would like it to be. So once the research is done, I would 100% consider doing designs with the cactus or more sustainable leathers.
All right. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
As the judges finish up their notes from Melissa's presentation, I just want to share this link with everyone. You can read more about each of the companies and find their contact information in our digital program. And next up, we have Safe from Shinkei Systems.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for your time. Sorry for the confusion, and I am excited to get started. All right. So, like I mentioned, my name is Saif. I am founder of Shinke Systems. We build robotics that minimize fish waste and multiply shelf life. As little as 1 in 3 fish caught make it to a plate, yet 1.2 billion pounds of fish every day are caught. So most of this waste happens because of what happens in the processing portion of the fishing industry on the boats directly. Improving and fixing these processing paradigms can save more than $50 billion internationally. So what's actually happening? Most fish are thrown on ice and they rot live. Through that, it's a very stressful process. There's many biological cascade effects that deteriorate the meat quality. And eventually their shelf life skyrockets downwards to 1/24 of the shelf life of manually processed fish. Japanese slaughter techniques solve this manually. There's a few sequence of cuts that we'll go to in a few seconds, but they're historically too complex for automation. Some partial automation has existed mechanically because of a GMO fixed sizing and shape, but if you go out to the ocean, most fish, even within the same species, are different size, shape, weight, etc. Our proposition for what would be a very great improvement on the paradigm of the processing method, where you can extremely improve shelf life, is to automate these using computer vision robotics. To do so, if we compare the current paradigm of asphyxiation, fish will rot within 1 hour in open air. And if you were to do the full EKG technique, the one that we're automating from Japan, you can improve the shelf life by up to 24 times the amount. Doing this using computer vision robotics with our MVP in the other room can reduce waste and amplify margins extremely impactfully in the industry. So this is what happens. The fish comes in on our machine, it's held down by spring-loaded sleds, and a high-pressure water jet moves over to the head. That water jet then shoots very high-pressure water, strong enough to cut metal through the head, stop any stress. It then cuts the gills, so the heart, which is still active, pumps out the blood, and finally goes over to the tail and makes an incision on the tail. We then use very low-pressure water, akin to pressure on your sink, to push out the spinal cord, which stops any seizures in the meat from happening that trigger on the biological effects I mentioned earlier. We have a computer vision algorithm we trained in-house with a photo shoot in my room. And as you can see here, we can isolate different points of the brain right over here, and the gills over here, as well as the tail, using different species. So on the left, we have the red snapper, and on the right, we have herring. We target commercial fishing corporations. These are big, integrated vertically across the entire value chain, so they can feel the effects of the improvements in shelf life. We work on a post-paid royalty fee, selling our hardware and then charging our royalty only on the improvement in margin or improvement in shelf life that we make. International market for this is huge, while domestically it's already $1 billion market, and that's only talking on the boats alone. Internationally, why it's so much larger is because international populations eat much more fish. You think of Japan, where sushi is very pervasive. You think of Taiwan, China, and other countries where fish meats are much more common in the day-to-day diet. From there, we plan to expand vertically. So we're the first people to be able to track species and weight right at the point in the ocean, and so we can do operational integration into selling the fish by the time they reach the dock site. Relative to the competition, we both provide the more sustainable and improved shelf life, all at the cheaper price. So in comparison, if you were paying for an omakase meal that kills fish in this way, you'd be paying as little as $200 up to $700 here in New York. At the same time, if you want if you went and got a cheap fish, you would have to eat it cooked because it's already started to rot. That's why fish smell fish. So we provide all the high quality improvements at a low quality price. Our team is filled with 3 engineers, myself, and Jifei, who runs our computer vision, and Ben, who's avid bow hunter, avid fisherman. As you can see here, he's definitely our local Bear Grylls. We're still hiring and expanding the team to 7 come January. We're running our pilot actually this weekend in Martha's Vineyard with the Fisherman's Trust. And we're working with particularly black sea bass through the Dr. Edmondson, working with multiple commercial harvesters. Overall, our device creates fish that are all at a higher quality with a longer shelf life for a cheap price. We're raising $400K for our pre-seed right now, and we're also actively hiring a sales executive. Thank you very much, everyone, and looking forward to chatting.
Great, thank you, Safe.
Great presentation, Safe. What do you expect the cost of your hardware? Have you figured out your bill of materials and how much this device will cost? But more important than that, what about its throughput? Will it slow down the existing flow that would occur either on the docks or on the boat?
Sure. So your first question, current device that's not been designed for being cost effective was cost of $30K. With proper manufacturing, designed for manufacturing, we can get it down to 10, we think at least. In terms of throughput, so in industrial paradigm on small ships process 1 fish a second on average, depending on the ship. We're trying to get we're trying to build hoppers in directly into the machine. If you're familiar with a hopper, what they do is they take the fish and they put them in water directly in the ship so that there's more time to process them and kill them. And then that way we can solve that problem. Our current device processes 1 fish every 30 seconds as our MVP, but we're trying to are trying to break that down to under 10 seconds with our next iterational and large-scale manufacturable version.
Thank you.
No worries. I hope that answers your question clearly.
It does. Great.
I'm curious about if it takes more people to operate the device, or is it something that, I know that I think one of the slides said that it's automated, but I'm just curious about operating it or what the human interaction with the device is, and then also about maintenance, if that's an added cost that needs to be factored in.
Sure. So to your first question, there is hands-free, there's no humans. We're automating an artisanal technique here. In terms of operational integration, there's also very little changes that they have to make. Most commercial harvesters have conveyor belts on their boats already. We tack on the device, as you saw, there was a conveyor belt there. We tack it on to the end so that the machine can go straight through, and so the fish can go straight through, and it's all hands-free. Now, in regards to maintenance, most fishermen are very, very handy, and the device is made up of very commonly used parts. The only things that we have to come into are really for adjusting the nozzle, which is a custom design, and bringing it and installing it. And so there might be an installation fee, but most maintenance they can do themselves.
Hi, Safe. Thanks for your presentation. Can you clarify your impact? It sounds like it's really on, treatment of fish. But if you could provide a bit more detail there, that would be helpful.
Sure. So most fish, when they're killed in the way I mentioned, which is asphyxiation, they're thrown on ice, they flail about for about half an hour and then die. They start to rot within 1 hour of death. Rigor mortis process starts, and the meat, because it's not been drained, starts to decay very quickly. With this technique, what we do is we do those cuts I mentioned, the head spiking, gill cutting, to drain the meat and cut off any stress in the meat so that it retains its flavor and it doesn't start to rot. And with even in open air, the rigor mortis part of the stages of death won't start before 24 hours. If you do it with proper storage, you can keep a tuna for up to optimal freshness for up to 2 weeks before it even starts to rot. So really right there, we're doing this theoretical 24x in shelf life, and then also improving the product at the same time. There's also the humanitarian concerns of you shouldn't let a fish flail about, but it's a nice co-benefit.
So doing quick numbers, even if you were 30 times slower in terms of the processing time, it would be almost net the same.
Yeah, so there's some nuance there because, of course, if they're not using a hopper, if the fish will just die if they leave it on ice. If they keep in the water, there's some certain type, depending on the netting system you use, will depend on whether that's a qualifier we could use. So some of them have to bring it on directly if you're using a big trawler, like they bring up the nets after a certain period of time, or if there's too many fish inside the net, leave it for too long, the fish will get crushed before they do it. If they're doing a hook and line, yeah, you can definitely do that. If we're using the hopper and they put the fish into the hopper directly, they can do that as well. So it really just depends on the netting system and the type of vessel we used for whether you can crop them. But yeah.
How do you plan to roll this out? Sounds like you have a pilot set up for this weekend in Martha's Vineyard, but are you planning on, how are you planning on distributing this initially?
Sure. So pilot for Martha's Vineyard is at a really cheap price, mostly because we're trying to get exposure to, see how fishermen use it, see whether it's working reliably, etc. From there, we're working actively with a demand pull strategy. So our advisors, EKGMA Federation, we have the main distributor for Michelin 3-star restaurants in New York as an advisor as well. A few other people around the coast that we're working with one-on-one basis. Working with them who are buying the fish and selling it, and having them introduce us to the people they buy the fish from. So getting our customers to introduce us to their customers. That warm intro, just helps us with the sales process, but more importantly, demonstrates that they're paid for it. From there, that's really just, we're thinking in terms of timelining about the next 6 to 9 months. We'll be testing, iteration, and then come June, around the time we'll be raising our seed, that'll be when we're moving to large scale manufacturing, and then considering the working directly with the industrial boats, the factory ships that are focusing more on the shelf life and value prop and not on the quality value prop.
Did you already mention IP? I can't remember if I saw that.
I did not mention that. We're patent pending, filed IP, utility patents, and design patents.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Safe.
Thank you, everyone. Sorry for the confusion earlier.
That's okay. Okay, thank you to our judges. They are going to be joining the deliberation room and talking through these pitches. Thank you to our cohort and our participants. It was such a great time. I loved hearing all of your pitches. And while these judges are in their deliberation room, we have someone who some of you might be familiar with. This is Julia Anthony. She is the president and chief strategic officer and founder of Solution Medical. She also won Best Pitch last year during our 2020 Pennovation Accelerator Pitch Day. She is joining us from her vacation, which we are so thrilled to have her. And she is going to be sharing an update about Solution Medical.
Thanks, Jamie. Hopefully the internet holds up, and this has definitely been a working vacation, so I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Maybe next week I'll actually get to be on vacation. Let's see, try to share my screen. Share. Can you see the screen, Jamie?
Yes.
And can you hear me?
Yeah.
The internet's working right now. Awesome. We lost power last night, so hopefully this holds up. All right, so hi everyone. My name is Julia Anthony. I'm the founder, president, and now chief strategy officer of Solution Medical, where we are developing a better way to deliver drugs that require mixing, a process called reconstitution, so that anyone can mix drugs and administer them anywhere at any time. So I'll give a quick overview of what we are doing for those of you who don't know who we are, and then some updates about what's occurred since we were part of the Pennovation Accelerator. So my brother and I were both born with a rare life-threatening medical condition called congenital adrenal hyperplasia, where our bodies don't produce enough cortisol. And when this happens, we need a life-saving injection that currently requires 14 steps to administer. And that's because the current standard of care is a vial and a syringe that is just not user-friendly. And this puts my brother and myself and the nearly 1 million people at diagnosed risk of adrenal crisis at risk of dying. So what we've done at Solution is we've developed a pre-filled single-use patent pending auto injector that does all of this medication mixing in only one user step. I don't know why this got cut off, but it says adrenal crisis standard of care is unacceptable. So sorry about that. And what's special about our device is not only that it does all of the mixing in one user step, but it is orientation independent, which means air is automatically removed from the system without any additional user steps. We can accommodate large volumes and have a prefixed needle, so there's controlled needle depth. We are looking at doing intramuscular route of administration to start, but we can also do subcutaneous administration of drugs with a different needle subassembly. And to date, our testing shows that our device can administer, or rather mix and administer drugs that require reconstitution 20 times faster than the current standard of care that's available on the market. So that's a quick overview of what we're doing. I'm also excited to share that our device can not only be used in the adrenal disease space, which is our beachhead market, but we do plan to use it as a platform technology for other drugs that require mixing, starting first with human growth hormone in the in vitro fertilization space, and then moving into antipsychotic drugs and monoclonal antibody treatments, including some in-home oncology treatments that are both intramuscular and subcutaneously administered. So the progress we've made this year, our team has expanded. So I founded this company and was the CEO up until just a few months ago. And we've now onboarded Todd Wallach, a local Philadelphian, as our new Chief Executive Officer. And we also have David Pauling, a part of our team now. He's going to be our Vice President of CMC, or Chemistry, Manufacturing, and Controls, and supply chain. Our advisors have remained the same. However, we are now converting from an LLC to a C Corp. So we are forming a board of directors as we move into our Series A financing. And along those lines, we did recently close our seed rounds. We actually oversubscribed it at $825,000, with which we are doing a pilot manufacturing run of our device and proving that we can fill our device with the drug for our primary indication of adrenal disease. We're currently preparing all of our pre-IND materials to meet with the FDA later this year, as well as our orphan product designation application. With these funds, we will also be doing our first formative human factors study, and we are putting together our reimbursement plan so that once we are ready to commercialize and do this at scale, we can know that this will be reimbursed. Thinking right now with the end in mind. This also got cut off, so I'm sorry, but since we were a part of Pennovation, we've become a J Labs company out of the Philadelphia J-Pod location. We also received the PPDC grant from Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and they have the #1 ranked endocrinology department for pediatrics in the country right now. So I'm very, very excited about that. We've been featured in Philadelphia Magazine, and just recently, along with Prescient, another Pennovation Accelerator team or company from the Cohort we were a part of, we're ranked one of the top 30 medical startups in Philadelphia right now. So very excited about all the press we're getting as we've expanded our team. closed our rounds and are getting ready to do pilots. So that's it in a nutshell. I missed the presentations earlier because I was on a handful of meetings, but good luck to everybody participating. And we are about to launch our Series A. So if anybody's interested in learning more about what we're working on, myself or Todd would be happy to schedule a meeting and tell you more about our life-saving work. And thank you, Jamie, for inviting us to share all of our exciting progress that we've accomplished over the past year today.
Thank you, Julia, for your update, and congrats on all of your accomplishments. Everyone, the judges are still in deliberation and they will be back in a few minutes.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for waiting. We are back from the deliberation room, and I'm excited to share our thoughts. Give me one more moment. Okay, so thank you to the cohort for sharing your pitches and to our judges, and thank you all for tuning in. Based on our deliberation, we would like to award the best pitch to SAFE, Roche K Systems. You are our 2021 Best Pitch Award, and the 2021 overall winner of the Pennovation Accelerator goes to Rigo. Hi, Josh, congratulations.
Thank you. That means a lot. I'm really excited.
Awesome.
Thank you, judges.
Congratulations to the entire 2021 Pennovation Accelerator cohort. Thank you to our judges, and thanks to everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next year.